Hello everyone. On behalf of Global India Business Forum, this is Sumita Sarkar. Welcome to our new series, The Trailblazers, wherein we interview business leaders and professionals who have made a significant impact in their respective fields. Today, we talk about the legal sector. The Supreme Court and the High Courts safeguard the Constitution, uphold the citizens' rights, and shape the rule of the law. Today, we are joined with a distinguished advocate who has the expertise and experience in these courts, bringing significant experience and insights in the nation's legal structure. Advocate Aashuutosh Srivastava, welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
He is the founder and principal counsel of AA Associates Pune.
Yes.
Sir, you have extensive experience before the High Courts and the Supreme Court of India. What is in your opinion, is the litigation landscape of India at the present?
See, I feel, first of all, I'm very thankful for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to speak and say a few my experiences before the people of this country. Yes, I feel that the judiciary has gone to a lot of transformation, and today I do agree that the courts have improved into infrastructure and everything, but there are a lot to further improve. However, if we consider and compare ourselves for the last like 40-50 years back what we used to be, now we have more litigations, the population has increased, accordingly the businesses have also increased, and there have been more disputes, more litigations, and obviously the number of criminal cases have also increased. So considering these aspects, I still feel that there has to be a lot of further infrastructural improvements required into judiciary. And if we see the kind of population what we have today, I feel that there has to be proportional number of courts as well, which unfortunately is not there. We still have many vacancies which are vacant for the judges, and we have a lot of pending cases, and people are bound to, they have to, agree to the delays which are happening, and they are facing these difficulties, no doubt. But at the same time, I feel that in a country like India, judiciary, I would say, has only tried to balance the requirements of the people so far as justice is concerned. When all the systems, if they don't work, many of the systems, it is only the court on which people still have the trust and faith that if they go to the courts, they will get justice. And that is the only reason why people are going, and we have many cases. If we compare to any other country, I think in India we have so many of cases being filed on day-to-day basis, and the courts have also tried to provide justice to the people. At the same time, I feel that there has to be more number of courts, there has to be further improvement into the infrastructure, the kind of courts. Even the judges at the lower courts should be given proper facilities so far as the cleanliness, so far the infrastructure, so far as the furniture, fixtures. I would say the modern technology, everything should be provided so that the justice system becomes more easier, smoother, and easy to access for the people. So I think yes, I do agree that judiciary is a very important factor for providing justice in India, and it is doing its work very efficiently, but there are obviously a lot of further improvements required, as I said.
So I was just coming to that. Like it is said, justice delayed is justice denied. And going by the reports, there are more than 54 million pending cases in different courts of India. So what is the nature of such cases, and what are the solutions, and how can justice be delivered at the earliest?
No, first of all, as I said, that we need to have more number of courts, we need to have more number of judges, we need to have a better supportive system, infrastructure. All these things are required. And further, if you see, if I would say that the authorities which are concerned, like if we have a criminal case, obviously the investigation by the investigating agencies, whichever, like police, CBI, you know, ED or whoever, if they are investigating a case, their role is equally very important. How efficiently they do the investigation, how early they can submit the report, how early they can file the B summary or maybe the charge sheet, whatever, before the court, so that the court can, take it further. And also to ensure that the witnesses are, given a lot of facilities to come to the court. They are given security, they are given, the funds, money on time, so that they can come to the court, so that these witnesses can be examined, cross-examined, so that the entire trial process becomes easier, and then we have less pendency of cases and these cases can be resolved. Similarly, if we come to the civil part also, I think if there are more courts, more judges, so there could be early dates on those cases, and where any commission has been appointed to submit its report or anything like that. So those reports and all are equally very important to enable the judges to, deliver their judgments as early as possible. So I think this is very important and crucial. And as I said, that to encourage that further, good lawyers, they indulge into becoming judges, there has to be encouragement, there has to be good facilities, so that they also feel that there is a much better career, while becoming and, going to the becoming a judicial officer. So all these aspects I think are very important and crucial, by which the efficiency of litigation can be improved in our country. Though the government is trying, the judiciary itself is trying, but I still feel that it is very important and crucial. And along with that, I feel that there are many big cities where I think the High Court benches are also required. Many cities which have, population, extensive population, they do not have any bench of the High Court, and people are bound to travel to the nearest, High Court bench wherever they can go as per the jurisdiction. And because of that, many of the lawyers and many of these litigants, they are unnecessarily traveling. So considering the increase in population, the modernization, and we are talking about digital India, I feel that there has to be sufficient number of courts, including the benches of the High Court in many of the big cities where there is population, extensively. So all these aspects are very important, by which I think the pending litigations, as you asked me, can be tackled, and the delivery of justice becomes easier and smoother, and people can get early justice.
Sir, there are 4 pillars of democracy. Of late, there have been discussions and there has been disagreements about the judiciary involving into the parliamentary pillar.
Process.
So,
Okay.
like even the former Speaker of Lok Sabha, Somnath Chatterjee, had made that statement that the judiciary should be doing their duties, while the parliament and executive and the 4th pillar, the press, should be doing their duties. There should be no interference. So what is your opinion on that?
See, I personally, I feel that judiciary is not, interfering into the parliamentary process. We have seen in many cases. Now what happens when a law is made, when a bill is passed in the parliament, and it comes to check the constitutional value of that particular bill which was passed. Now the Supreme Court has to see whether it is constitutionally valid, is there any violation of the other applicable laws, because Supreme Court is in a way is the guardian of the constitution.
Right.
And it is its duty to see that laws which are made are in consistency with the other laws made, and also it is there in the welfare of the people at large, and it doesn't violate the fundamental rights of the citizens of this country. And it doesn't become that a law which has been just made, by which, people would feel that injustices have happened to them. So I think Supreme Court takes cognizance of all this, and also the changing times. We have seen like Section 497 now has been, it has been abrogated. We have seen Article 370 abrogated. So there are a lot of new amendments which take place in the parliament, Supreme Court just checks that these laws being made are proper, it is not against the fundamental principles, it is not against the constitution, it is not against the welfare of people, it is not against the rights of the citizens. So I think considering every aspect, Supreme Court, passes order. And as we know that Supreme Court is an institution where the judges are, so experienced. They have worked a lot in different high courts and they have practiced as lawyers. So obviously, if they check the constitutional value of any such bills being passed, it adds value to it. Maybe the government, in the parliamentary process, they make better amendments so that whatever suggestions the Supreme Court has made is taken care of, and it becomes more efficient for the people at large. And it also checks the balances for how other countries are making such laws, what are the loopholes, it should not be there. Then at the same time there should not be misuse of those laws being made. So all these aspects are very, very important. So I think Supreme Court is working as a guardian to the constitution, and it is their fundamental right to do so. Not even right, I would say it is their duty to do so, which they are doing it. So, but yes, there might be some differences in exceptional cases, and those cases, I think in many of these situations, the Supreme Court has referred the matter to the Parliament. That, see, we cannot make law. We can only evaluate the law what you are making. We can only suggest certain changes. But if you want that a law has to be made, then the Parliament should take it up and they should pass appropriate bills after discussions, and because they are the representatives of the people. So they equally have certain rights and duties given by the constitution. So obviously I don't think their rights have been taken over any time by the Supreme Court. This is my personal view.
Okay. Sir, India is positioning itself as the global arbitration hub. So how do you see this in respect to the traditional courtroom, the litigation in the traditional courtrooms?
Yes, according to me, I feel that arbitration is a very important and easy way of resolving many of the commercial disputes and other such kind of disputes. If you see nowadays, in many agreements being made between two different parties, they are trying to incorporate the arbitration clause, which functions as per the provisions of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. And the best part of it is that the arbitrator who are appointed either by the parties themselves or maybe by the High Court or the competent court, they have sufficient experience. Many of the times we see that the retired judges are arbitrators, very experienced lawyers, they also become arbitrators, and they are appointed by the courts considering their experience and expertise into certain fields. And it is a time bound also. So generally within 1 year the arbitrator has to pass the final order. So obviously you can see the speedy disposal of such disputes. So that is very, very important, because if one has to go only through the civil courts, it becomes very difficult. It takes years and years. But here the things, the disputes can be ascertained by the arbitrator either by the resolution by both the parties, or by conducting a proper trial by the arbitrator. So I think arbitration, not only in India but in many of the countries, if you see, arbitration process has become very, very rampant, and people and these big business houses, they are considering this way of handling their litigation, because an arbitrator can hear one matter for the whole day, but for a court it is very difficult because it has got many cases to hear every day basis. So obviously the disposal of these disputes are much smoother, easier and effective, and at the same time it is it takes very, very less time compared to any other litigation before any other different courts. So it is obviously arbitration process is very much I mean, being liked by the people, and I think it should further continue, and more arbitrators should, join this kind of litigations by which, the disposal of the matter becomes much smoother.
Sir, as a member of the Supreme Court Bar Council, who have practiced in multiple forums, so what advice would you give for young aspiring advocates?
I think the young lawyers are the future of the Indian judiciary system, and their role is very, very important so far as the future of the country is concerned and the judicial system is concerned, the justice system is concerned. And I feel that the young lawyers, they are very efficient, they have good expertise, and they are learning it. They have a better way of acquiring their education with the modern system. They are also being given many tasks such as moot courts and such other exposures by which they are improving their skills. And I'm sure when they become lawyers, they would definitely serve the purpose of the justice, and they will try to get justice for the people. And I would always suggest them that they should always be patient, and they should give time to this profession. This is a profession requires a lot of time and expertise and experience, which comes by time only. And the most important aspect, that they must be ethical towards the people, towards the clients who trust them, and they come to these young lawyers for justice. They should always try to treat their clients ethically, and honesty is very, very important. One has to be very honest if they want to make good career. They have to show from the beginning only, so that the people trust them with their name, with their work, with their dedication, with their honesty. So all these aspects are very important and crucial, and they must learn from their seniors. They will get better, they would be better in their own profession if they follow all this. And otherwise, I think the young generation is much more efficient, and they are much more capable if they follow all these guidelines and ethics in their lives.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time.
Pleasure.
And the information was really very enlightening. I think our viewers must have gained a lot from this interview. So that was Advocate Aashuutosh Srivastava for us, for Trailblazers. Stay tuned for more such episodes. Thank you so much for viewing.